Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, sponsored by Indigo Communications. Absolutely delighted that you could join us on this Friday. Beautiful weather, Ruffy and Tam McManus certainly reflecting that. Sensible weather for Charlie Adam and myself, Peter Martin. Whatever takes your fancy these days, by the way. And Ruffy, you're going through the full repertoire of the shots that you have available.
Well, it's very nice outside, you know, it's nice weather. I know you've a lot of work to do inside, so you can't get out as much as us.
Get the socks on as well that used to be white.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, I've got worse ones than that.
Yeah, quite a lot of people, thanks to the thousands and thousands of people who obviously messaged us with complaints about Ruffy's legs. So we've taken them all on board and not really cared about it. Ruffy's going to persist. We've got lots to talk about. Hugh Scott, who's a regular contributor, Ruffy, to the show, is celebrating his 50th birthday on Saturday. He was picturing himself out there on a trip to Dundee, standing next to the Jim McLean statue. He's a Rangers fan, Hugh, but I think when you've got those iconic managers there, it's always nice to get a wee pick. And Hugh's 50. Yeah,
and Hugh's been with us for a long time. You know, he posts regular, and it's good to have people like that to come on. Obviously, something to do with Charlie now with Dundee. I know he's from Dundee, but a Rangers supporter, but he'll be interested in everything that's happening as well. The place must be buzzing up there, is it?
Aye.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll be naked next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Try and contain your excitement, by the way. We'll get to Free Willy in a moment. Now let's concentrate on a couple of other things I'm going to mention. Thanks to Bruce Reid, who says about the whole Maloney and Hibs fiasco, the way I see it, you bring in a new manager, it's completely up to the manager which players he wants to keep, which players he wants to send out and loan, and his signing. Sean Maloney wasn't given any of those terms. Instead, we have the owner and his son deciding what players to bring in. The manager then has to work with these players. This is like a repeat of what was happening years ago at Hearts with Vladimir Romanov choosing the team, bringing in players that George Burley didn't want. I don't think it was quite as bad as that, but I take your point, Bruce. So give us your point of view on some of the burning issues this week in Scottish football. It's absolutely incredible. Day by day, all the way through the season, as we head towards the end of the season, Ruffy, there's never a dull moment. There's always something happening off the park and on it.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be more. This is the big time of the season for everybody, and it's great the way it is. The split is, you know, top and bottom, and through the championship. I know first and division are practically settled just now, but supporters have got something to go to the games for.
Yeah, just looking at your face there, Charlie, you can't contain your excitement for what's coming up. We've all got our thoughts on it, but only because I know the manager really well. You know, I've been in a few good nights out with him down through the years, been on holiday with him. He likes a noise up. Is he trying to take the heat off the players with turning the heating off? Also, going on a diet, and then threatening to go naked for the full week if he beats St Johnstone.
As long as we win. If we win, he can do what he wants. I'm not bothered. But I could see where he's coming from. He's trying to take the pressure off the boys, but the pressure's there. It's plain and simple to see. We're 5 points behind. We must win the game. I'm not going to cover it up or anything. We must win the game. If we don't win the game, it'll be very difficult. But we're in a good frame of mind. The lads have trained well. Performance coming back for 2 goals down in the derby. Now we've got to take comfort from that. St Johnstone obviously went to Celtic Park and lost 7, so they might be feeling a wee bit of that pressure. But listen, it's a game that we look forward to, and if we win it, it gives us a great chance.
Win or bust?
Yes, I think so. You win it, you've done it 2. You lose it, you're 8. So it's going to be difficult. So no. I'm not going to sit and think the pressure's on because we're in a position where we don't want to be, and we must win the game, and that's how I see it.
Yeah, before I get Tam and Ruffy's thoughts on it, I've got to say to you, I don't know if you remember on the Friday before that last game when you played in the Dundee derby, what did I say to you? I said hit a 40-yard diagonal and then hit a raker from about 30 yards. Was it eventually 30 yards when it started to swear?
It was a bit that, yeah.
You must have felt great.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was the moment when it hit the net, was just so many things go around your head. Obviously, scoring in derbies are big things, and especially when you're local and you're brought up in the area and you're getting a bit of stick, it's just nice to turn it over a wee bit as well. So no, it was good, but it's gone now, and I look forward to this one. This is a big game for us as a club, and you know, the fans have come out to support us, and we have to try and repay them for that.
Is that the first ever goal you've scored in a Dundee derby?
First ever game, yeah.
When you were, I don't mean to be kind of sentimental and all sugary about this, but when you hit that ball and hit the back of the net, were you running just thinking about maybe your dad and everything, how great it would have been?
Just everything, the emotion of, listen, it might be my last Dundee derby. You never know. You know, unfortunately, I've played 2 and undefeated in the 2 games, so it's nice. But yeah, a lot of emotions, because I knew that people that, you know, had friends dad's friends in the stand, and it was quite emotional. But listen, it's gone now, and I look forward to tomorrow. Just another big game, and you know, it'll be the first time this season as well. My kids and my wife managed to come to the game as well, so I'm looking forward to it. I've got grandparents over from South Africa as well, so it is a big game, and I said before, big game, big players.
It's the catchphrase for the whole season, Tam. Big games, big players. When he said it the first time, I thought, there he is. He's given me a slap and just told me exactly what it's all about. But that's what it is. We were talking about when he wasn't in the side, how they missed him. When he's in the side, suddenly they're a different proposition.
No, as you said, you need your big players to turn up in the big games, the big days, you know, because the other players will be looking to Charlie. You know, Charlie's obviously, you know, a big personality, a great career, and they'll be looking to him tomorrow again. You know, can he produce something? You know, can he produce a pass or a cross or score a goal? And that's what it's all about. You know, it's going to be a difficult game. Listen, I've been down in that situation myself. You've got to win games at the bottom of the league, and the pressure is really on. But you know, the Dundee supporters, as I said, they've cut the prices. There should be a big crowd in at Dens Park. Just got to help the players. And as I said, if Dundee win tomorrow, then they've got every chance of staying up. But you know, Charlie's still going in the locker to go and, you know, produce. He showed it against Dundee United. You know, it's probably a brilliant moment for him. Coming back up with Dundee, he probably dreamt about playing the Dundee derby and scoring the Dundee derby. So he's ticked that off amongst all the other stuff he's done in his career. So no, as I said, if he can keep Dundee up, if Dundee can stay in the division, then you know, go down as a real hero with the punters.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a nice comment, Charlie, isn't it? Double D, played with Charlie's dad, a great lad. It's an amazing amount of people that are watching and tuning in and hanging on your every word on this one. A bit of magic from Charlie will do the business. It is that type of thing, isn't it, Ruffy, when you get to this, what I call squeaky bum time. Sir Alex Ferguson coined the phrase. It's that moment where mere mortals, players, I'm not being disparaging towards too many other players, but if you've played at such a level, your brain thinks of something that's on that maybe someone else wouldn't.
Yeah, and a lot of people in the dressing rooms over the weekend will be like that. There'll be people sitting there panicking. There'll be people who have been there and done it and trying to keep the youngians or the inexperienced ones and let them know what's ahead. And not 11 of the walking onto the park at the weekend will turn it on, because it's a massive game, and the big, as Charlie says, the big players turn up, and you hope there's more in their side and theirs. But I just thought, I don't know if Charlie agree with me, I thought the cup, the semi-finals last week spoiled it a wee bit for you, because you were on a high and getting that late goal, and you should have been buzzing all week to get it. But now it's a fortnight down the road, you know, and St Johnstone have got that 7-0 you're talking about to sort of get off they've had a fortnight to get that out of their system. I thought if it had been last week, then Dundee, I mean, I went for Dundee this week, but if it had been last week, I'd have strongly went for Dundee.
Well, it's first time back to the season.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
A big moment, big game.
Yeah.
No, listen, I think St Johnstone got to take a bit of credit from where they were last season with what they achieved. Whatever they tried to do this year was obviously never going to replicate that. Callum's had a tough time earlier in the season, losing his best players. But I think now, since January and the last few weeks, they start to get a balance. Rooney's obviously back in the team as well, which has been a big asset to them over the last couple of years. So they'll be coming to us, you know, and looking to win the game as well. And there's no doubt it's. I think whoever defends set plays well and whoever attacks the set plays well could win the game.
Yeah, Stuart Derrick says, Charlie, if you keep us up, there'll be a statue getting built.
It's a big one then.
Absolutely. Well, the cars can treat it as a roundabout. It'll be fantastic. Nice to get a statue, to be honest with you, Charlie. As for St Johnstone, Callum Davison just says it's going to be a fight all the way to the end.
I take a scrappy 1-0. I think the first goal in a lot of games are so important in this league. I think you look at, obviously, take Rangers Celtic out. A lot of the games are really tight. They're really close, and you know, I think it's going to be a really tough game. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle. My players know that. They know what they've got to do. As I said before, we've done it for 3 months. We just got to carry on what we're doing.
Yeah, managers now just saying, don't care how you play, just win the game, Tam.
Yeah, it's not about performances now, it's about just points, winning games. You know, performances go out the window. You know, you just need to win, and as I said, Callum Davis and St Johnstone will be looking to try and win the game tomorrow and drag a St Mirren or an Aberdeen, anybody, a Hibs, anybody back into it, you know, in that playoff spot. You know, they'll be all but safe from automatic relegation if they win, so it's a big carrot for them as well, obviously for Dundee, but it's a huge game, and you know, it could turn on maybe somebody keeping 11 men in the pitch, it could be a red card, it could be a dodgy penalty, you know, you never know what's going to happen, so you've just got to have a wee bit of luck on the day as well.
And even with all the negative results that they were going through in that bad run, the board decided to stick with Callum Davison.
I think they had to. I mean, listen, last season he was awesome.
I was just having a dig at you, at your mob.
No, I think he'd plenty of credit in the bank, Callum Davison, for the previous season, so I don't think there was any doubt of getting sacked. You know, and as I said, as Charlie said there, January they signed a few decent players and they've managed to turn it around, but it's all on the day tomorrow. If Dundee win, then it's game on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Ruffy, what are you going for?
I went Dundee 2-1. I've been in teams that get beat 7-0. It's all right saying, it's against Celtic, but it's very, very difficult to get your head round going into other games. But as I said, he's had a fortnight to get that out of the system, which might help them, but I'm sticking with Dundee 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going Dundee to win 2-1, Tam, which means this could be the most unusual show of all time if all three of us decide to back him while he's here on the show.
Unbelievable, but I'm not. I think it'll be one each.
Well, one each. Okay then. Tried my best. Tried my best, Chaz. But anyway, apart from anything else, it's going to be a huge game. Dundee against St Johnstone, not for the faint-hearted. Really looking forward to it. Motherwell against Rangers. Suddenly peace has broken out, Ruffy. Change of fixture. This is what Giovanni van Bronckhorst had to say about that change. I'm very happy the game was brought forward. It is a good decision. I'm very grateful. If any club in Scotland is involved in Europe, we should all do the same to allow preparation for big games in Europe. The last two results were a huge boost to us. A win is always a positive for the morale. We were able to rest this week after playing almost twice a week for the full season. We are now looking forward to the last weeks of the season. We now have to keep going for the rest of the games coming. So well done to Motherwell, well done to the police, well done to everybody who had a part to play in this, Ruffy.
Yeah, it's not before time. You know, we've seen it down through the years, you know, somebody pleading for a wee bit a respite, and it's fallen on deaf ears. So, you know, I think it's important that all Scottish clubs do well in Europe, and when Scottish clubs do well in Europe, everybody else does.
Yeah, Motherwell, Alan Burrows and all the board deserve a bit of credit, although the manager himself, Graham Alexander, I think he would have liked somebody just to maybe tip him the wink a wee bit earlier.
Just the delay in the decision is the thing that frustrates me and us at Motherwell, because our first communication was I think last Friday morning, and we understood all the sort of the opinions of Rangers, of the league, the police, this, that, the other, and we said if it was benefit for everyone, we could go with it and roll with it.
Yeah, well done to Motherwell. They've decided to roll with it, and Rangers get that extra day of preparation, which I think is a good thing. What do you think about it? Good thing, trying to help Scottish clubs, especially if they're in the latter stages of competition, European competition at that. The one downside to all of this is, of course, Rangers have got injury worries. Ramsey out with a calf strain, Roof's out with a knee problem, 3 weeks minimum, missing the big game.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe Sakala will play up front through the middle for the next couple of games. Or, you know, they might go with like a Kent maybe through the middle. It's going to be difficult, but listen.
What would you do?
Depends on the game, really. This Motherwell, I would go with Sakala in this game.
Yeah.
He's got speed, he's got, you know, he could go in behind. He scored a hat-trick last time he was at Motherwell as well, so he'll have good memories there. So I think Sakala will come in and be the threat, but it's obviously a huge blow with Roof and Ramsey. Morelos out, but I'd say Rangers. I'd expect Rangers still to win the game.
Yeah, he's a bubbly character. I mean, he was as wide as a Clyde trying to claim the goal last week, but fair play to the boy.
I like him. I like his outlook on football. I like he plays with a smile on his face, and I like players like that. You know, he seems to enjoy his football. That's what it's all about. You know, doesn't seem to be feeling the pressure of playing football. And if you can go out and play with a smile on your face, it's half the battle. And as Charlie said, he scored a great hat trick at Motherwell last time. Can you remember him walking off of the big smile in the match ball. So he'll be looking forward to that game. He might get a wee run of games now. You know, Roof might be missing the next couple. So it's all about Sakala now. You know, we spoke about it's all about Morelos, but football can change quickly. He's out injured, Roof's out injured. All of a sudden, Sakala's now your main striker. So it's a great opportunity for him. You've got Alex Lowry as well, who can maybe come in and play behind the striker, or young lad Weston. So they've got plenty of options, younger boys as well. So, but I think he'll play Sakala against Motherwell. Yeah,
he mentioned the name there, Alex Lowry. The big clubs in England are starting to just look at the players with potential and just snapping them up. Doak ended up signing for Liverpool this week from Celtic.
Yeah, the young players at Rangers and Celtic have got to decide where their future is. You know, you want to be with a big club, you want to be with Rangers and Celtic, but if you're not getting any game time, you've got to sit down and get some kind of advice. You know, am I going to break through? Are they going to keep bringing up an Aaron Ramsey and I'm not going to get a game? So it's a decision. You would just hope that the advice that they get is the right advice, and because they've got a big future in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Motherwell Rangers. I've got Rangers to win 2-1, Robbie.
I've got Rangers to win 2-0.
Charlie?
Motherwell. Rangers, sorry.
Yeah, okay. I was just about to feel your head there, see if you're okay.
2-1, the Rangers.
2-1 to Rangers. Ross County against Celtic on the Sunday. So suddenly, Rangers have got a chance just to turn the screw off. You put a wee bit of pressure on, and it ain't going to be easy up there.
No, I think if you say to anybody in the Premier, you know, Ross County, particularly the season that they've had, you know, they've been very good for the last 2 or 3 months. It's not as if you're going up there and the environments, you've got to deal with that. You have to deal with the players, because I've got a couple of players up there who have been top notch. I've already got one of them in my 4 for the Player of the Year, you know. And
you just keep adding to that though.
No, I've settled on it now. I've settled on it. No, but I mean, Celtic went up there the last time. Was it a last minute or something?
Yeah,
last minute.
Ralston.
It's going to be hard. Everybody's fighting for their lives, you know. So we're talking about big players, and you're expecting Celtic to have more big players than Ross County.
Okay, what have you gone for?
I went 2-0 Celtic.
Okay, so not as hard as you first suggested. I've gone 2-0 Celtic. Juranovic out for several weeks, Charlie. Giacomakis back though. I wonder, you know, it's amazing how they missed him.
Yeah, because he's a different type of player to what they've got. He gives them a, you know, like Morelos can hold it up. You know, so he's coming in a bit of goal scoring form as well. You know, so he missed the last couple of games, but no, he's done all right. I think Ross County can get a draw at this at least, and I think the title race will be blown open this weekend.
Yeah, well, there's the big call. That's what we like. That's the punditry we've missed it. And over and above that, can I just touch base with you? Were you surprised by how it all panned out in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup, or did you sense early on that Rangers were at it?
No, well, listen, Rangers were at it. It was just how long they could be at it. You know, you're thinking at some point they might die off fitness-wise because of the game on Thursday night, extra time, the intensity they put into it. But they recovered well. They put in a great performance, and over the piece, they deserved the victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Tam,
I think Celtic bounced back 2-1. I think I went for 3-1 to Celtic, sorry.
Yeah, Charlie's predicting a big twist this weekend. Even Ange Postecoglou admits that this one is like a fairground ride.
I'm sure it's been a tough week for our supporters, no doubt. We understand that, and we take responsibility. And you know, I know the players and everyone involved, the football club. You know, we want to make our supporters, you know, feel better about themselves in the coming week. But you know, like I said, I'm not guaranteeing you anything, mate. But hopefully, when you get off the ride at the end, you think it's been worth it.
Yeah, roller coaster ride and 5 games to nail it.
Yeah, listen, I think we spoke about earlier, it's all about Celtic just picking up enough points now to win the league. You know, that is the big carrot this year was always to win the league. Rangers went into the season huge favourites. You know, Celtic have managed to turn it around and have got to finish the job now. I think Rangers will keep continuing to put pressure on. I think Rangers will beat Motherwell and then they'll close that gap, and it's down to Celtic to go up there and win, and I think they will. But if they don't win, then there could be a few jitters in that Celtic squad. So it's a really big game for Celtic on Sunday.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks to Barry Grant, who says Charlie's just winding up the Celtic, or a Celtic, as he says there. Lots of messages. Thanks to James Quinn. Charlie is a banger. There you go.
The thing is, right, it's as hard, you know, the form that Ross County are in You know, any team in if they finish in the bottom six, you wouldn't want to go and play Ross County because they're a good side.
I agree with you.
I think this is a tough away game for them to go up to Ross County.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
I think it's been nervy up there. I mean, there were easy games for Celtic at home, Ruffy, but up there it was an absolute battle. And sometimes you think to yourself, is it because a team sits in? But not Malcolm Mackay said he's got players that can hurt you.
No, he certainly has. I mean, I like the boy Callan in the midfield. I think he's a box-to-box player. He can come up with a goal. Set pieces, they're always strong. Is Vickers fit? Has he declared himself fit for this Celtic?
That's right down to the wire.
Well, I mean, if the boy Welsh comes in again, set pieces is always important up there. It's a wee tight part. They throw corners in, free kicks in. They've got people in there that can bully you. You've got to be strong enough in there, and I think Vickers is a big player for them.
I think he's been their star man along with Callum McGregor, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been outstanding this season. I think that at the start of the season, once Celtic got a settled back four, he started to show how good he was. I think at the start, you know, Celtic were chopping and changing. It was difficult to get continuity back there, but the amount of clean sheets that Celtic have kept, the amount of, you know, big performances that he's put in, you know, scoring at Ibrox as well. So, as Charlie, as Ruffy says there, he's a big player. If he doesn't play for Celtic on Sunday, then there could be an upset. I think he's that bigger player for Celtic, particularly up there where Ross County, let's not forget, have drew Rangers and took a 97th, 98th minute goal from Ralston to beat them, so it is a tough place to go.
Yep, okay. Aberdeen against Livingston. Well, we're going to hear from Andrew Shiney just shortly on the Dons and how things are shaping up there. No surprise, Jim Goodwin has just blasted out. You want to stay at Pittodrie next season, you better put a shift in.
From a club's perspective, there's prize money for every place in the league. So, you know, finishing 7th would be the best that we could hope for right now. Players have got different situations going on as well. You know, some of them playing for the futures here at Aberdeen, others playing for future elsewhere. And bottomly, we all want to try and restore a bit of pride, you know, and we want to try and finish the season off on a positive note and win as many games as we possibly can between now and the next 5.
Where have we heard that before, Andrew Shiney? Players are playing for their future. They better get their finger out because we haven't seen it of late.
You're absolutely right there, Peter. I think we need 11 players out in the park with the character that Jim Goodwin's showing there. New words from Jim, bottomly. I think that's a new one, unless it's a transfer target that nobody's told us about. But as Charlie said, you know, big games are all about big players, and Aberdeen have got to produce a big performance tomorrow and then against Dundee next week to take advantage having of the post-split fixtures and get 6 points that makes them safe. So tomorrow, always going to be tough against Livingston, and you just don't know what you're going to get from Aberdeen. That's the problem.
I know that, Andrew. The manager last few weeks has been certainly ruthless in what he wants out the door, and he's got 4, maybe 5 transfer targets that he wants in the door as well, quickly.
So I've heard, no names being mentioned, which is no great surprise given the way, you know, Andy Considine's departure came into the public domain. I think Jim will be trying to keep absolutely everything as watertight as he possibly can. He's talking about the recruitment process, taking in games all over Europe. Dave Cormack in his interview during the week said that, you know, they'll tap into Atlanta's resources with regard to South America. I think Jim Goodwin will want to have players that he knows. He's not going to go and gamble on any unknowns. The homework will be done meticulously before any new players come in.
Yeah, and over and above that, give us your prediction then, Andrew, for Aberdeen against Livingston, because the manager has said, you know, listen, relegation is not completely out of the question. They've got a job to do.
Totally right. I mean, there's no question that 3 points tomorrow are a must. And ideally, Charlie, I'm supporting you tomorrow. You and my wee pal Niall McGinn, I hope you can get a victory against St Johnstone, because that, allied to an Aberdeen victory, would put 9 points between us and the Perth Saints. And I think make that gap just too big so that we don't get involved in a scrap for who's going to finish in 11th place. But lose at Pittodrie tomorrow, the alarm bells are going to be ringing, and I'm quite sure Charlie Adam and his team will be heading north the following week saying, you know, they couldn't beat us down at Dens Park, even though they were maybe the better side on the day. We can turn this lot over. They're a soft touch. So it is a massively important game tomorrow. If Aberdeen all turn up, if Christian Ramirez in particular refines his goal scoring form, I can see Aberdeen sneaking maybe a 2-1 victory. I'd never say 1-0 because we can't keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Great insight there from Andrew Shiney, and of course a nice little compliment to yourself, wishing you and Niall all the best. And of course, I think Andrew makes a great point there, Charlie, which is quite simply, if Aberdeen were to lose against Livingston and you win, you'd fancy yourself against them because you have actually got one over on them before.
Yeah, listen, we've played well against them all season, but I think if Aberdeen lose, I think it turns the heat up on Jim, and he's only in the door because, you know, he'll obviously look to try and be planning for next season, but the Aberdeen fans won't accept finishing, you know, third bottom. Even though he's come in the door, they need to pick up results from now to the end of the season and win football matches going into next season, have a bit of momentum, and I feel good of, yeah, he's going to, you know, get rid of a few players and he's going to bring fresh players in, but you don't want to finish the season poorly and everybody's, you know, worrying all summer what's going to happen and things like that. So I think these are big couple of games coming up for Aberdeen for a long-term plan.
Nobody in their right mind, Ruffy, thought Aberdeen could be dragged into possibly a playoff place. That's just beyond anyone's comprehension. Although I can hear the echo of, you know, year in, year out, you know, this team's too good to go down, and then all of a sudden, boom. The only one that's actually managed to stand by that is Newcastle United this season. They've been able to escape all the fear factor, but Aberdeen?
No, I mean, that's one of the reasons why Jim Goodwin was brilliant. They were looking for some kind of spark, you know, same as Hibs, bringing Maloney in, but it hasn't worked, and I think we all agree that the players that they had at their disposal weren't good enough, so I don't think you could blame either of the two managers, you know, 100%. I know they had their faults here and there, but I just think it's the inconsistency of Aberdeen this year, you know, but they're at home tomorrow. I think Livy have had their season. I think they've been superb. I think
they're on holiday?
No, I just think that the way they were, you know, they were fired. I think it's the end of the season, you know, they're not going to get in trouble. No holiday, they've still got a bonus to play for, so I'm going to go Aberdeen to win 2-1 at home.
2-1 at home?
It was 2-1 or 2-0.
Yeah, I've got, well, let's look and see. You've got Aberdeen to win 2-0.
Yeah.
Is that a comfortable 2-0 or is that a tight 2-0?
Yeah, well, it depends how late they get the second one.
Yeah, Aberdeen to keep a clean sheet. I know, that's another thing. Anyway, Andrew Shiney has gone for 2-1 Aberdeen. I've gone for Aberdeen 1, Livingston 1. Charlie?
I don't think Davy will allow it to happen that the season just peters out for Livingston. I think he'll want to try and finish as high as he can, and he'll demand. Did they not beat Aberdeen earlier in the season up there as well?
Midweek,
so I would go for a draw. I think it'll be a draw.
Yeah, okay. Tam?
Big draw for me. One each.
Yeah, big draw?
Big draw.
Not a normal one?
No, I think it's a nailed-on draw.
Yeah, okay, there you are. You've got it here. Thanks to Andrew Shiney for his contribution. Andrew will be watching that game just behind his fingers and probably behind the desk in the press box, to be perfectly honest with you. But fingers crossed it all goes according to plan, because boy, do we need Aberdeen in the top flight. Forgive me if anybody doesn't like that statement, but we definitely need them. They're a big club. Just a little footnote to all of that though, Ruffy. Dave Cormack saying because of the prices, the potential move to a new stadium has increased by 30 million. So that looks as if it's kiboshed any thoughts of Aberdeen leaving Pittodrie for the original Kingsford proposal.
Yeah, I think the pandemic has really hit everybody. You know, there was a lost income there for 2 years, you know, that they obviously budgeted on, and it's just not happened. And there's not a lot of money going about just now unless you're playing in Europe or, you know, selling players on. I do think there'll be a couple of Aberdeen players moved on at the end of the season. I think Ferguson will go. I think he was nearly going the last window. I think they'll ship him and maybe try and get some money in.
Ramsey?
Possibly Ramsey, yeah. I don't think there are other ones that he won't get money for, but if he's looking for money, they'd be the two.
Yeah.
But, I think I'd move on.
The thing is that the reason it's 30 million is the price of steel's gone through the roof because of everything that's going on. So that's why it's costing an extra 30 million. So Aberdeen will just have to sit tight at the moment. Still a fantastic stadium to go and play at and great atmosphere. So it's a shame because they're looking to build a football club. I think Dave's obviously put a lot of money in since he's come in the door. So it'll be a blow to them, but maybe in a couple of years' time they'll be able to move to a new stadium. Yeah,
that's a great thing about having Charlie on the show with his shares. He knows when to come into steel and when to come out of steel.
Not only transfer evaluations, he's now giving you steel prices.
Exactly, it's all there, isn't it? Yeah,
oil,
exactly.
Gas,
That's
petrol's terrible.
Even
though I'm not driving.
You got that in quickly there. Somebody did actually mention that the council, there's a little report saying the council had offered the possibility of a joint facility next to the beach ballroom, which is not too far away from Pittodrie. I'd like that idea. I like Pittodrie being next to the North Sea.
Yeah, it's a big area down there, obviously with the golf courses as well, but I don't like stadiums too near the water.
Okay.
Too windy.
Thanks for Ruffy on that. St Mirren against Hibs, and even Stephen Robinson says the Saints are not safe yet.
We've got enough experience in the group to manage games better. We spoke about that in depth. And look, we've got a good group of boys. And as I say, we need to go and take our game to them. We're at home. We'll have good backing. And, we need to go and take our game to Hibs. And they'll be, looking maybe for answers themselves. They've lost their manager. So they'll be maybe looking a wee bit uncertain, and we have to try and take advantage of that as well.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting one. This one's really tough to call. What's the feeling been like, the reaction you've had speaking to Hibs people about this whole week?
Listen, I think it's been a tough week, to be honest. I think that it was a big shock for everyone, when Sean got sacked. I thought the performance in the semi-final was probably the best performance under Sean in terms of, grit, heart, everything you want in a derby game. So I was disappointed for him, and I was shocked that he got the sack. David Gray comes back into the team. He's already been in the caretaker role once before. He's done well. He's got 5 games now in the bottom 6 to maybe cement his case for the job. I don't know if he wants the job or not. I would think he probably would. He's a Hibs legend, no matter what he does. So there's not a lot of pressure on him in terms of taking the team. So I still think that Hibs need maybe another win, maybe 3-4 points, just to make sure that they're not dragged into near the bottom. But it's going to be a difficult game against St Mirren tomorrow, and Hibs have got a lot of injuries at the minute as well, so I'm hearing. So just need to wait and see what sort of team Hibs put out. But the problem for Hibs, and it has been all season, is scoring goals. And again, it will be the case tomorrow. Whoever they play, they've got James Scott or the young lad Melkerson. They've nobody else. They've no other fit strikers. So that's going to be an issue for Hibs tomorrow. They've got to keep it tight at the back to get a result. And I think they might just sneak a 1-1, but a difficult game.
Sean Maloney released a statement saying that he could have turned things around if he was given the time. Ron Gordon's had his say on how he's running it, how his son's performing, and the remit for any manager who comes in is abundantly clear when you look at Ben Kensel and also Ron Gordon's blueprint for the way ahead. It's a Brentford model. They want to play it that way by committee on bringing players in. The coaches, and if you don't get it right in a short period of time, you're out.
That's the way it goes. Before he went in, before he knew it, he knew that was the situation, how they dealt with singing players, and that's how it was brought in. The results weren't good enough, and that's the tough thing, that the results were not good enough. Losing Nisbet was obviously a huge blow. Martin Boyle obviously going was a lot of goals, but if you don't win football matches, you won't be in the job long, and that's what's happened there. So the Hibs fans, Ron Gordon's got to think of a business. He's a businessman. He's thinking, right, we need to make the change now. Tam thinks that David Gray might have a chance. I just think that how can you go from Sean Maloney to David Gray? It might not work in the long term. Listen, David Gray should be around the football club. He deserves that opportunity. It might still be a wee bit too early for him for the job. So I think they'll go for somebody with experience. Malky or something like that might have an opportunity in that in the summer, because it's a huge job and a huge club to be working for. It's a good place to go and play as well.
I think Malky is too strong for them.
In terms of personality?
In terms of a manager who's been round the course before and will not suffer fools gladly starting to dictate policy to him.
And like you say, and then you look at it, that might then suit that David Gray comes into as manager, because then Ron and his son can control what's going on with the manager. So it's a hard situation to have, but like you said about Aberdeen, Hibs shouldn't be anywhere near where they are, but because they lose a couple of players and performances, that's what they are, and this will be a tough game for them.
I've got St Mirren 1, Hibs 0.
Oh, I think Hibs might just edge it.
Yeah, I've got St Mirren to get dragged into it. If Charlie gets his result tomorrow, I think their results over the last couple of months have been poor. Brophy and Main aren't scoring goals, so I'm going to go for a Hibs win, so I don't see the Saints marching on.
Right, okay then. Well, great link there. You've turned into Bonzo, by the way. Do you want to do some other after dinner stuff while you're here? Sam?
I think it'll be a draw. I don't see Hibs scoring 2 goals. And to see them keeping a clean sheet, I think 1 each.
Yeah, okay. Dundee United against Hearts. Well, Hearts are just... everything in the garden is rosy, Ruffy. He wants Ellis Sims, Alec Cochrane and Ben Woodburn to be back with him next season. This is obviously really kind of relying on the clubs, their parent clubs, giving them back on loan again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's already went on record saying he's not going to splash the cash. I mean, everybody's talking about the $3 million they're going to get for the Europa or whatever they end up, but he's happy with the players he's got, and certainly if you've got players on loan and you can get them on a good deal, you're saving a lot of money, and you can still maybe splash it a wee bit in a couple. But he's got a fair pool there, and they're all buzzing. It must be a right good happy place to be.
Yeah, can I just say, Charlie, I wonder what Robbie Nielsen's mindset will be and the players' mindset will be. They're easily in third, nobody's going to take it away from them. They're in the cup final. You don't want to be stretching, just pulling your hamstring or going into a challenge that suddenly rules you out of a medal.
You cannot think about the cup final as, you look at anything can happen, even in training. You think, because you still got to prepare well all season for now to end the season to train well, so it could happen in training, it can happen in the games. I think Robbie could be up there for manager of the year. I think what he's done from bringing them to the Premier League, the performance that they've put in, getting to a cup final, Crew's third place, he's in there. But they will obviously look to bring a couple in. They'll lose Suter in the summer, who will be a big loss, so they'll obviously have to invest in that area. So no, he's got a good side there, and I'd expect him to win tomorrow as well.
Manager of the year, Robbie Nielsen. Who's your player of the year in the division? Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote. My vote would have been... I'd probably go for Callum.
Yeah, Callum McGregor. I've gone for Craig Gordon.
I would go for Cameron Vickers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ruffy?
I haven't decided who, but I've told you my 4. Tavernier, Craig Gordon, who else did I have?
Regan Charles
Cook, and there was another one, I think it was McGregor.
Dennis McQuaid?
No, but I'd probably go for Craig Gordon because I'd be a bit biased.
Yeah,
Scott
absolutely. Craig.
In the championship, were they?
Yeah, Craig Gordon.
I know, I've seen that.
Yeah, will he win it? No.
And Lafferty might win it, but my opinion is I think Lafferty's not been here long enough. I know he's done well. He's done well since he came. McKenna, I like McKenna.
Yeah. Okay, you mentioned Lafferty. It's Killie against Arbroath tonight. What a game! This is going to be unbelievable. Killie win, title's theirs. Dick Campbell's side win it. They're suddenly in the box seat, and Dick Campbell said Arbroath will remain part-time if they get to the Premiership. That's a wee surprise, isn't it?
Not really for me. I think that there's too many players up there on good jobs. So
yeah,
I think if you can get,
they're raking it in. Paul Reed's doing a brilliant job as the commercial director up there.
I think they'll be able to scoop up all the best part-time players, and I think when you're that best part-time team, you're going to attract all the best part-time team. Plus, it's the Premier League.
But the big thing about part-time, they've got the best part-time players.
Yep.
So there's no anybody else that are good enough to get an Arbroath side at the moment, and that are playing in any of the lower leagues. So it's going to be difficult for them. They're going to have to now try and bring loans in for next season, because they've got the best part-time. They're the best part-time team. So whoever comes in, then it's going to be difficult for them. So. No, I see that's probably the right thing to do, but I fancy them to win tonight.
Yeah,
I do. I think they'll get promoted.
Yeah, well, interesting. Oof, you're on form. We've missed you. Kyle Lafferty says this is a team he's playing for that is the standard of it is definitely Premiership level.
The Premiership team, and everyone knows that they have a chance to play in the Premiership against Rangers and Celtic and Hearts next season. Some players might never get a chance to do that again in their careers, so we can't let it slip out of our hands. We're in a good position, so we have to do everything to get there.
I've got Kelly 2-1, Ruffy.
I actually want a draw, obviously for personal reasons. That the last game means something to the two of them. I think it'll be even more exciting next week if there's only a point between them. So home advantage. I don't think Kilmarnock are playing as well as what they were a month ago. They're still winning games by the odd goal, and with him there, there's always a chance that will happen.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I thought we'd give him his full title. Tam?
Fancy Kilmarnock strongly. I think they've won 6. It's the last 6 home games. Have won 6 though. I think they're very strong at home. Arbroath not great away from home. Fancy Kilmarnock strongly. I think 2 or 3-0.
You can't be second top in the league and be terrible away from home.
They've not been great away from home, but their home record's been excellent under Derek McInnes. I think they've won 6 out of 6 or 7 out of 7.
Did we give a Dundee United Hearts score at 1-1?
2-1 Hearts.
2-0 Hearts.
1 each.
1 each. Okay, yep. I've gone 1-1 as well, Tam, to be perfectly honest with you. Listen, the Scotland dates have been released for the Nations League. Scotland-Ukraine, Wednesday, 1st of June, 7:45. I have my doubts that's going to go ahead, Ruffy.
Yeah, the more and more things you hear, particularly down in the east of the country, is not good viewing, and obviously there's lots of things coming out day by day. The players have all moved away. Where is it they're based? All the Ukraine players are based somewhere. They're trying to arrange friendlies. I think they're trying to play England and they're
trying to play France as well.
Yeah, so they're gearing up for it, but at the end of the day, it'll be the powers that be that make that decision.
Yeah. So the Nations League matches Wednesday, the 8th of June is Scotland-Armenia. Armenia-Scotland on the 14th of June. Scotland-Republic of Ireland on the 24th of September. And it's the 5th of June for Wales versus Scotland or Ukraine. So that's the dates that are in. Whether that happens or not is another matter. Just before we go, thanks to so many of you who've posted your messages and your thoughts. It's always good to hear what you've got to say. If you hit the subscribe button, then you can join the football family on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. You can download the PLZ Soccer app as well, which will allow you to watch the programme live on the phone at any point. And you can also get the managers and players interviews to boot. As far as the English Premier League is concerned, here's the fixtures for tomorrow. Arsenal against Manchester United, just massive. Man City, Watford, Brentford, Tottenham. You've also got Leicester, Aston Villa, Norwich against Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves. And then on the Sunday, I think everybody now looking and thinking, okay, any slip up from Man City and Liverpool will just be there to take advantage. They've got the Merseyside derby at the weekend.
Told you about 2 weeks ago, Man City and Liverpool will win every game.
Okay.
So Man City win the league.
That's a full stop. He's just said it. Full stop, no arguing. What about yourself, Charlie?
It's some great games from the end of the season. I think Liverpool are in great form, and I just like to say, I think Man City will win the league and Liverpool will win the Champions League.
Yeah, Ruffy?
Yep, I would agree with that. But I think there will be a slip up from somebody somewhere down the line.
Yeah, a slip up.
I think they'll drop points against one of the teams down the bottom. Possibly a midweek game when it's raining and the weather's not good.
Okay, so just finished the programme with the same logic as Mark McGee offered at the top of the programme. Absolutely none whatsoever. Anyway, I think the image that everybody has in their head, I'm not sure if Mark will be naked outside the V&A or will he just be running about the Dens Park hallways if you win against St Johnstone.
He'll be locked in a cupboard if he's locked.
Absolutely. Well, let's hope nobody harpoons him. But nevertheless, he's got a big job. I would love to be a fly in the wall as he delivers the speech tomorrow. All I can say from everyone here is good luck, Charlie. We genuinely hope that you can pull a wee bit of magic out there to get Dundee in a fighting position. Yeah, just a wee special one from you, Charlie. Is there another special goal in you?
Always.
Brand new. That's what we want to hear. Anyway, thanks to Charlie, thanks to Tam McManus, thanks to Ruffy, and from myself, Peter Martin, to all of you. Join us if you can on Monday. We will look back over what happens over Saturday and Sunday. Is there a twist in the tail at the top and the bottom of the Scottish Premiership? We're about to find out. Thanks for watching.